I think the definition can be very contextualized. There is no one-size-fits-all definition, just as the same situation is viewed differently in different times, countries, and cultures. This is what happens throughout the movie Concrete Utopia. At the beginning of the movie, for no apparent reason or cause, there is a massive earthquake and all the buildings collapse. It's almost as if there's no one left alive. Strangely enough, one of the palace apartments didn't take a hit. It looks like it was built incredibly well, even though it should have been rebuilt. I'm worried that it won't pass the safety inspection because it's too strong. It's a very paradoxical situation, and I would say it's unique to Korea. It shows what an apartment means to people in Korea, which is that it's not strong enough to pass a safety inspection. Everyone in the one remaining apartment building is fine. Everything else was destroyed except for the palace apartments. Winter is the season for earthquakes. In the summer, you can live outside, but in the winter, you have to at least have a wall to block the wind. People flock to the apartments. The apartment itself is high. It's in a pretty high location. You can see the apartment from a distance. Usually, Korean apartments are characterized by a complex. In most foreign countries, it's 2 or 3 buildings at most, but in Korea, it's a complex. So there's a stronger element of exclusivity. It's like, I'm going to do what I want with mine, so who cares, and that sentiment is prominent in the movie. In the beginning, there's no ostracizing anyone who comes in here. They're all dumbfounded by what's happened, and they're all scrambling to make sense of it. Everyone has some food, but no one knows how long it's going to last. At one point, a fire breaks out in a house on the first floor, which was occupied by someone from outside. Luckily, Min Seong Park Seo-joon and Young Tak Lee Byung-hun are on the scene and put out the fire. Otherwise the entire building would have burned down. This leads to a meeting where the apartment residents decide that they can't go on like this. GMA Kim Sun-young, the president of the Women's Association, suggests that Young Tak, who took the initiative to put out the fire, as if it were his own home, should be elected president. Afterwards, the meeting concludes that anyone who isn't a resident of the apartment should be kicked out. Min Sung is married to Myung-hwa Park Bo-young, and they have no choice but to let an outsider into their apartment. In the process, they get into fights and Young Tak gets hurt badly. But they do it for the sake of the residents of the apartment, and they get together and make the apartment their own world. They ration their food, but they don't do it fairly, they take what they contribute. The apartment is barricaded to keep outsiders out, and they recruit people to go out to get food and other things to help them get through this crisis. Young Tak, who is a bit shy at first, becomes a full-fledged representative. He thoroughly divides the people in the apartment from the people outside and acts like we're going to feed ourselves and live well. From here, the movie becomes more about the human condition than any spectacle. Honestly, it seemed a bit odd that this movie came out as a summer blockbuster, because while it does feature Lee Byung-hun, Park Seo-joon, and Park Bo-young, it's not really a summer movie that's all about fun and spectacle. There was a lot of frustration throughout the movie, like I'd just eaten a sweet potato, but it does make you think about what the right thing to do is. Young Tak is a human being who changes after becoming a representative, just as you might expect at first. He does everything for what he believes is right, and is a character who believes in sacrificing the few for the many, not the individual. For Min Sung, the most important thing is to protect his family. Myung-hwa's position is that she must act for what she believes to be justice. Under normal circumstances, this wouldn't be a problem. The problem is the current situation. It's not a time of peace, it's a time of survival. Survival is the last thing on anyone's mind. Even if an individual has to sacrifice a little bit, the survival of the fittest comes first. In this situation, someone might be a little bit unhappy. If it's a country, even if the dictator is in agreement with you, you have to let it go a little bit. It's a situation where you can't be fair and give a damn about anyone. It's wrong to not let outsiders in for your own benefit. Here, Myung-hwa thinks she's right and wants to reveal the truth. I don't see how revealing that truth would make a difference in the current situation, where everyone is just trying to survive. At least young Tak has secrets and things to hide, but his actions for the sake of the apartment were pure. In a normal movie, Lee Byung-hun would be the villain and Park Bo-young the hero. In the context of the movie, I saw Lee Byung-hun as the hero and Park Bo-young as the villain. Although in the movie, Park never seems to recognize or realize what she did wrong. As I was watching the movie, I was wondering how they were going to resolve it towards the end. The earthquake has already happened, so there's nowhere for people to go, and there doesn't seem to be a solution other than instant food. And there's nothing constructive that can be done about it. It's kind of hopeful at the end, but it's kind of absurd, because Eve